Let me find. Okay. Welcome to the Outstanding Women Leaders Podcast, or OWLS.
We give a hoot.
I'm your host, Kristen, a former journalist turned young stroke survivor, now hustling to make my dream of becoming a national speaker come true. I'm currently jobless, but not loveless. I have a 5-year-old French bulldog named Vaca, which means cow in Spanish, and she is the love of my life and my motivation every morning to wake up and work. I want to buy her a house with a backyard because she says this apartment life is not for her. Now I'm accompanied by my resilient and quirky co-host, Katie Eads, who, like a cat, has 9 lives when it comes to careers and relationships. Girl, really quick, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Kristen. As Kristen said, I am your quirky, and she forgot to mention hilarious, co-host.
Hysterical.
Thank you. And founder of OWL Professional Coaching. If you've transitioned through careers and then, like I have, you learn a few things along the way, particularly how to ask questions. I'm great at asking questions. Just ask.
Constant.
And
I don't know.
And that's what coaching is about. At OWL Professional Coaching, we believe you are whole. You have everything you need to thrive and succeed here. And coaching is really about helping you get clarity and helping you figure out what it is with you, which is great because I don't know anything. So I'm not an expert and I don't have to be. Every client is their own individual expert. But as Kristen mentioned, I do have 9 lives when it comes to careers and relationships, and I'm not afraid to transition out of one if it's no longer serving me. So you hear that, men? I've already divorced one. Once you've already divorced one, you don't marry a second time unless it's going to be right. So I will not be afraid to leave your ass. And for careers as well, I believe when you lose that passion and that drive, it's time to transition. And so as I transitioned into my 4th career here at OWL Professional Coaching and also in nonprofit, I'm not 100% sure what my next career will be. But if Netflix is listening, I just like to float it out there for them that I would be a great comedy special. Mom's dead, dad's gay now, I'm still funny. But enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about our episode today. I can't believe we are recording our 11th episode.
Yeah, I told you earlier, it feels like the 300th episode. I feel like we've been doing this our whole damn life. Like, oh my God.
It does. It doesn't, because I've been trying to record podcasts with Kristen for a while here, since February, January, something like that. And it's crazy to think that this time last year, Kristen was literally paralyzed, not listening to podcasts or speaking on podcasts, versus today, where she's only paralyzed when it's convenient for her, like when she's running late or just can't even be bothered to get up from her nap with Vaca to record a podcast.
100%. I'm having a bad day. Can't do it. Won't do it. Listen, if this stroke happened to me, God made this happen for a reason. I'm using it as an excuse for whenever I want.
And I love that about you. And I use it as an excuse for myself when I'm not really feeling it. I'm like, well, my friend had a stroke. And it's worked out great. And by the look on our guest face, I imagine that they've probably also heard the I'm sorry I had a stroke.
Yeah, they know all about it.
And so we are celebrating Survivor Week here at Outstanding Women Leaders Podcast because it is her stroke anniversary. We celebrated that on Monday.
Big deal. 1 year of surviving in recovery of stroke. And if you want to learn more about what happened exactly, make sure you go back to the last episode, and we have a very in-depth detail about the story that happened to me.
Yeah, and honestly, episode 10, we didn't make a big deal about episode 10, like, woo, made it to 10, but it's probably my favorite.
We have 10 friends that like us enough to come on our podcast.
That's not true. The first 3 episodes were just the 2 of us.
That's true. We have 5 people that are willing to come.
We'll celebrate. We're not there yet. I think we're almost there, though. We're doubling up here. So, I mean, it's 2 sisters, which gets us right into these people that are on here today. We have Caitlin Aguirre, and we have Danielle. I'm going to say Aguirre because she is your white sister. But her last name, because she's married, is, or not married, whatever.
Grant. No, she's married. Yeah, it's Grant.
Danielle Grant. I'm sorry. I didn't write that down. And I'm not a professional. You guys are professional now. I look silly. That's all right. So today on Outstanding Women Leaders Podcast, we hope to inspire you to be your bold, brave, authentic self and share your superpowers with your own communities So if you're ready to laugh, feel the presence of faith in your life, and hear the F-bomb a few times, let's pour the wine and get started.
Let's get started. So
yes.
if you're, go ahead.
No, you're up.
If you're watching this on YouTube or the Podbean app, you might be wondering why one of my sisters is my twin and the other is this beautiful white woman. Well, the other little Latina here is actually my biological sister, Caitlin. And while she's 5 foot flat, don't let her size fool you. She's a huge presence. She's beautiful, kind, and by trade in research and development in the food industry. I still have no idea what that means. I had to call her today.
I often research food and develop it.
I go, tell me what you do so I can explain it in layman's terms. And she had to explain it to me twice. I just tell everyone she's a food scientist. Now, my unbiological sister, who's the white woman here, is Danielle Grant. She's a meteorologist in Denver, Colorado, and she is the whole package, people. Smart, beautiful, and so kind. Now, we met at work, and we were instantly best friends and sisters.
Before we jump in, I just love that we wrote a little bit of a script here, and I love that white woman was one word, and I just had to share that because I'm cracking up and I can't focus, and I am like, I got to say it out loud.
It is one word in our world, right, Caitlin? White woman, white people, white people,
white woman,
one word. I mean, I love them, and we were both dating white men. There's nothing against white people. I love you guys. I surround myself with you. Look at you two.
Hey, I love your
partner, my unbiological sister.
Viva la tacos.
Viva la tacos.
In honor of this 1 year anniversary, I would love to hear the story of how you guys heard about Kristen's stroke, what you were feeling, what was happening. I've been on that receiving end of having my ex-husband go through kidney failure and being on that. What was that like for you guys? It's so tough to be in those shoes. I can't imagine for a sibling.
Well, yeah. Caitlin, you were like in the thick of it because Darren called you, no?
Yeah, it was really scary. So I was out. It was just like a normal Saturday, and I was actually out with a couple friends at a winery, and so we were coming back, and we were in the car, and it's about an hour drive, and like halfway through, I had this call from Darren, or it was a message on Facebook from Darren. It was like, hey, can you call me? And I was like, what is this? Like,
because Darren and I weren't like a serious relationship. We were just kind of casually dating. Yeah. And obviously Caitlin knew about him, but
yeah. And I thought two things
for them to like talk to each other.
It was either like he's planning something for her or like something's wrong. And so I like immediately gave him my number, and he called, and then he was like, hey, Kristen's not answering, and like I'm at the door and it doesn't sound right. And like immediately I think I like went to the worst. Like that's mom in me. Like I was like, oh my gosh, what has happened? And I was like, she's abducted and someone's in there, or like, you know, something crazy. And so I started to freak out.
Caitlin and I, our baby sister also died. What was it? It's more than 10 years now, right? Isn't that crazy? That's a whole nother episode. Yeah. So it's like, we're just prone to like the worst possible thing.
Yeah. And so I was just really scared, and all of a sudden, like he's telling me he doesn't know how to get inside. And so like my first thought was like, well, break the door. Like, I don't understand. It's not that big. I would do that. And he was like, I don't know if I can. It's an apartment building. And so I was like, I don't care. I'm like freaking out on the phone. And so I was just like, okay, well, what about Greg? Like, why don't we see if we can get the manager?
Manager.
Yeah. Long story short, they get in. Kristen's on the ground. She's yelling, which made me feel like something was normal because she's yelling. And that was kind of it. We didn't really know what was happening. She FaceTimed me when she got to the hospital. Still didn't really know what was happening. I felt like you were scared, and that made me scared. And so then I had to call mom and dad, and that wasn't the best experience ever. But you know how dad is. He's super calm and collected. And he was like, okay, that's fine. I'll call Jordan and we'll figure it out. And so then right after that, I called Megan, and I was just like, I need to get there. I don't even know what happened, and it could be nothing, but
Megan is my childhood best friend who works for an airline. So she was able to get Caitlin a ticket to fly out.
Yeah.
And Caitlin is very like laid back and chill, and always really like between the two of us, I'm the spaz, and she's very like, okay, everything's going to be fine. And so she's not telling the truth about the Darren part, because she was like, get in. He's like, I can't, it's steel. She goes, well, break the fucking door down. And Darren told me
I
this.
did
He was
yell.
also, and he was like, "But it's steel." She's like, "I don't care." Like, but it's your sister. Like Caitlin and I.
Yeah,
I mean, if you have a sister, Caitlin and I are obsessed with each other. It's a healthy
very much
obsession.
I have no idea what that's like. Only child over
So
here.
let's think about your best friend times 100.
Yeah.
Like Caitlin we're 7 years apart, so it's like I feel like in a weird way I helped raise her, and she's my best friend. Like I call her for everything. She knows
Yeah.
everything. Like she knew I was casually dating Darren. She knew we weren't serious, so that's why she knew something was wrong, because she was like, okay, yeah, he's calling because something horrible happened, because why would this man call?
Right.
And we're just extremely close, so she knows everything, and we're just, yeah, we're like even when I meet people, I'm like, you won't, like Darren knows, I'm like, you will never come before my sister. And I know people are like, that's not what the Bible says. I'm like, well, the Bible doesn't know this relationship.
Yeah.
And so we're very, very close. So it's like she knew everything. And I remember one of the moments I remember at my stroke, I was laying on the floor and I could feel my phone vibrating or hear it. And I could reach up with my right hand, not my left, because the left hand was paralyzed. And I picked it up and I was like, hello. She's like, hi, Darren's outside. I'm like, I don't care. And she's like, oh yeah, that's why. She's like, she's fine. Because I think it totally is normal for me to be like, I fucking hate everyone. No one call me. I'm ignoring everyone. Like that is completely normal, Kristen. So I think for her to hear that, like, I fucking hate Darren and tell him to just leave me alone, she's probably like, oh, she's fine.
Very normal.
She's getting her
Very
period.
normal.
Like, everything's fine.
Yeah. Well, even at the hospital, when you FaceTimed me, you were like still cracking jokes.
I don't even remember
And so, yeah. And I mean, even I didn't know what was wrong. And obviously, I had no idea what the road ahead would be like. But I figured, okay, she's fine enough. Like, we're going to get through this. We just need to get there so we can figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
How long from when you went to the hospital did you find out that you had a stroke?
Well, they didn't give me a CT scan from what I was told for 8 hours, right, Danielle?
Yeah, you rolled in there probably at like 5 or 5:30, and when I got there at about 11:30 is when the neurologist came in and confirmed that you had a moderate, what he said.
So Caitlin and my parents weren't able to get there until the next morning.
Or,
Yeah.
So Danielle, why don't you tell us? Danielle also has a funny story.
Funny story. God, that day, that April 13th was the day that I had been looking forward to for so long. I was in this fundraiser for a nonprofit school for blind children. And basically the fundraiser was everyone raised the most amount of money, and then the culmination is a dance off. So I had to learn the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And there were a bunch of other TV news anchors that were doing it too. So we were practicing for like 3 months.
And we had been promoting this on our show forever. This bitch every day was like, will you come take a picture of me by the green wall? I'm like, yes.
We were trying our damnedest to raise as much money as we could.
And it worked.
They wanted to win, obviously. So that day was a Saturday, and I was off, which working weekends, we try not to take weekends off that much because those are kind of our fun days. So I was off that day, and my husband and I were heading down to rehearsal before the big event started. And Kristen and I's co-anchor Ryan texted me, and well, actually, this was like at 2:30. Kristen texted me like, "Oh, good luck tonight. I know you're gonna kill it. You're awesome. You know, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Cool, thanks, girl." And she never wrote me back, which was fine. You know, I knew she was getting ready for work. She would get there by 3. Whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. So then like 4:00, we're in the car and Ryan texts me and he's like, have you heard from Kristen? She's not here. And like my heart just sank because I know her ass is late as hell, but 4 p.m. is way too late to roll into work.
Yeah.
I knew something wasn't right. So obviously I'm like, well, she texted me at 2:30. Like I figured she was getting ready. So he's texting her, I'm texting, calling, and then it was like, okay, Eddie and Darren are going to go over to her house. So now I'm like at this event and I'm like practicing my dance and like trying to put on a happy face while I'm like, what the heck is happening with Kristen? Like, I'm just getting random text messages of now she's like in the hospital. She's made it. She's in the ER. And then Caitlin, who I'd never met, I don't think before all of it.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Facebook messaging, because obviously I don't have her number. And she's like,
I remember that.
call me, like, Darren's calling me and what's happening. So I remember we talked on the phone and I was just like, you have more information than I do. I have no idea. I'm at this random event. So as the night progressed, we kind of got more information, and people thought that maybe your doctors thought it was a multi-cluster migraine.
Oh,
Yeah.
crap. What kind of migraine was it? It was like a intense migraine, basically. I
Yeah.
forget what it was called.
They said like sometimes you can get a migraine that's so intense that like you can have
Feels
stroke
like a
like
stroke,
symptoms,
yeah.
but they go away in an
Complex
hour.
migraine.
Yes.
Look, this stroke brain still works.
You're telling jokes. You're paralyzed, and people are like, probably a migraine. Kristen's
Exactly.
still funny.
Well,
Like-
and also, like, just so people know, like, Danielle and I had developed a friendship so close that people, if I was out and she wasn't, people would be like, where's Danielle? And vice versa. So it was totally natural for them to text her and be like, hey, where is she? Because we knew what each other was doing, like, at all times. Still do.
Yeah. So after, like, when I was at this performance, basically, that is when I finally realized the magnitude of the situation and, like, the fact that she was paralyzed, but then also joking around. So I'm just like, wait, what is happening? Like, I need to get there. All I needed to do was get to the hospital and see her. And I felt like I would know everything was okay then. So the dance performance goes on. I win that damn trophy for her. Bunch of money for the cute blind children in Colorado.
I couldn't see you dance. I'm sorry. I've been like holding on to this joke for a while. As soon as you said blind children and dance competition, I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense. Let's just rub it in their little blind faces that they can't go to a benefit that's for them.
So this is Katie, guys. This is also their first time meeting Katie.
The name of the school is the Anchor Center for Blind Children. So they get a bunch of anchors, news anchors to do the Anyways, I won. And I was in a gold.
All that matters.
All that matters. And I told a joke.
I was doing the hustle.
Mm-hmm.
So I march my jumpsuit into the ER at Denver Health at 11.
Gold jumpsuit. Gold.
All gold.
Gold. Sequins.
I would like that photo for the cover of this podcast episode. So if
He
you
has it.
send that over, please. I will stalk your Facebook, girl. I know it's on there.
My one regret in all of this is not taking a photo by Kristen's bedside
Yes.
with the gold jumpsuit on.
Well,
Come on, millennials. Take a photo when serious
well,
things
no,
are
because you
happening.
guys, I think you knew that if you try to take a picture, I'd be like, I will get up with my right hand, not paralyzed, and I will cut you. So I wake up to Danielle. Danielle and I both also very much bonded over our faith. And so I wake up, Danielle's praying over me, and all I look over, she's wearing this gold jumpsuit, and I go, what the fuck are you wearing? She's like, I just came here from my competition. Like, you're welcome. I love you. I was like, oh my God. But I do think that's why everyone like couldn't believe that I had a stroke, because I was still very much Kristen.
Yeah.
Joking around. And I mean, the night before we were all out. I mean, and
Right.
also, did you mention this, how you were not drinking and eating super?
No, I never mentioned that. Yeah, I had given up alcohol for Lent. So I was literally at the epitome of health for myself. I was like strict eating, no alcohol. And one of our coworkers actually told me, he's like an older guy, he's very quirky, super funny. He's like, when you give up alcohol, bad things happen. And he was fucking right. Don't give up alcohol for Lent. You might have a stroke.
And not that we are sponsored by anyone yet for alcohol, but it is Wine Down Wednesday. Cheers to everybody.
I need to get a
I'm drinking some Bossy Boots.
Cheers.
Caitlin Aguirre is drinking Middle Child, which
middle child, which she
Middle
is.
sister wine, yeah.
Middle Sister, whatever, child, sister. Sister makes more sense.
Either one's ignored. I mean, not Caitlin.
It doesn't really matter.
Well, kinda, but
How dare you? I have never ignored you. I've always shined you.
yeah, that's true. That's true.
I actually gave Katie a demonstration of what it was like to get you ready for prom.
Oh my gosh.
So
Remember
my mom and I are very comfortable being naked, and Caitlin's not. So is she
No.
getting her ready for prom? She's like covering herself. I'm like, I have literally seen you naked your entire life. Like,
I'm like, I'll do my sticky boobs myself. And you're like, no, you can't.
yeah. Because I was trying to like get her dress up and zipper her. I'm like, there's nothing hiding here. I know what everything looks like. I have the same parts. I mean, yours are tighter, but we have the same parts.
I don't know why. Well, I think it's just because you and mom were like always naked. And so
Yeah, our mom
it
is
was intimidating.
Rosie's the
Absolutely
sweetest thing
horrified.
ever, but she's like, sure, be naked. I'm like,
Like, listen, I will take my shirt off in the dressing room and we'll try on clothes, like whatever.
no, totally. No, yeah, Caitlin's not interested
I
in
don't know that I need you in
I mean, I'll
my-
do it in the dressing room with you.
Yeah, because I need someone to hang up my clothes. So she'll do
like
it.
that.
That was actually like one of my favorite pastimes, except it would be like 5 hours of Kristen trying on clothes. And then I'd be like, I'm hungry because we hadn't ate. But good sister bonding.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce, you got hungry before Kristen.
I am hungry a lot.
I'm always hungry.
Mhm.
So.
Well, Caitlin's nickname when she was little was Caitlin the cow.
Yeah.
And it's also my dog's name.
Terrible.
Oh.
But it was fine because Caitlin was super tiny. She was always this little skinny thing with a gigantic hat and huge feet. Very cute. Very cute.
The cutest.
The cutest.
Hearing your stories today, so fun Katie fact. Today is the day that my ex-husband went into the ER with kidney failure. It would have been in 2009. Yeah. And we got a phone call and they said, pack a bag. And we asked the people in the elevator which hospital to go to. And they said Northwestern over Rush. And Northwestern happened to be the best hospital for kidneys. So I know you ended up in the best hospital.
Yeah, the breast brain injury hospital. One of the nation, yeah.
So it's amazing how God works in that way for you and in your life. And I had to be the one like Caitlin to call his parents and let them know, hey, your oldest son is in the hospital. And at the time they had, so it's Chicago and it's 9 o'clock at night and you're in the ER. So when you finally get your bag,
not comfortable.
Was 80, which it's supposed to be 100. So 80 is bad. Like put him on oxygen. Like you need a bed. Oh, you have insurance? Great. You're going to go right there. And so the interns come in and say, oh, your heart's failing and it's causing your kidneys to fail. Then you're like, fuck, like someone's got to get hit by a car. Like how do you get a hit? How do you get a heart? Like this is not good. This man's going to die. And then in the morning, the real doctors came in and said, no, your kidneys are failing. You have 40 pounds of fluid. We need to pull off. Your heart's enlarged. And I remember what that was like. And I just think about you, Caitlin, where you're the only person there, right? Caitlin, you weren't there. Sorry, Danielle, you were there, like to be the only person there and have to call people and like doing the coordinating. Like you guys kind of shared that responsibility. I had to do all of that. And it was so hard. I had a dog at home that we had to take care of. And I didn't really process what was happening for 72 hours. I didn't sleep. So I stayed there the whole time. And then I finally went home and I got lost on Lakeshore Drive and I couldn't figure out how to go south on Lakeshore Drive. I just kept going north. It's like 4 a.m. It's how you know that you're tired. And so I just wonder, like, when did it hit you? Like, what was it like for you guys as you processed? Because I know that I grieved and it was a little different with the relationship, but I know there's a grief process for everybody. What was that like for you guys?
I don't know. I mean, I think it was really scary, but then at the same time, I just knew I needed to be in Denver to be there and be whatever Kristen needed. And so I kind of pushed off being scared. And then when I saw you, like, you know, like obviously there's a million things in your head saying what's going on, but like just seeing you there and as soon as we got in, like I squeezed your hand and you squeezed it back. And so I was just like, she's here. And then you immediately made another joke or something, you know? And so I was just like, we're all here and we're all together and she's going to be fine. And so, I mean, I think when I was home alone, I was the most in my grieving phase because I didn't want to go back to Minnesota, but I had to because I have a job. And
yeah. returning to normal when your loved one is still in the hospital.
Yeah, so that was really hard, and I remember being really upset, and I just leaned on the support system that I have here, and tried to be back as many times as I could. So like once a month, which felt like no time at all, but
they each both of you have like played such crucial roles in like specific parts. Like the night I was in the ER, I remember when I saw Danielle, even though she was wearing a gold jumpsuit, I just felt so much better because in Denver, she's my person. Like we had so many coworkers there and I did feel like supported and loved, but like Danielle knows me on like a different level that not everybody else does. And I knew I could tell her whatever and she would be advocating for me and she loved me because she's my sister. So when she showed up, I'm like, okay, she's going to figure it all out. And Darren was there, but we are not at the level that we are now in dating. We had just started dating. This poor man is crying and like helping me through a stroke. Like he doesn't know what he's doing.
and he was really great. Like,
yeah, no, Darren is the best. He
was
best.
texting me information, like he had just gotten my number 5 minutes before this.
Right.
Every 5 minutes, sending me messages, like overnight when I was like sleeping, saying, hey, this is the next update, like telling me the jokes you were making. So he's from the beginning, just the best.
Yeah, he's the best. So it's just like, even for me, like just seeing Danielle's face, I'm like, okay, she's gonna figure it out. It's gonna be fine. Danielle's here. And I mean, even the people around me knew, like, because they could only have like certain people from what I was told in the room. And so it's like when Danielle came, they were like, okay, some people have got to bounce out of here because Danielle's here. And they knew my relationship with her. Yeah, so they're like, you guys got to bounce, Danielle's here. And then the next morning, like there is nothing, and I've talked about this before, there is nothing like being very scared, not even for your life, just fearful in general, and seeing your family. Like when my mom, I remember, I will never forget, like my mom coming in, she has like this gray giant puffy coat, and she always wears this ratchet ass hat that Caitlin and I make fun of. She walked in, I could see her,
she stole it from me.
She was holding her scarf, like how she does, like when she like wraps them right here. So she walked in, I could just see her face, and I could tell she was scared. But then I saw my dad, and he's always like, he's got like this like half smile. Like he's never going to show you he's scared. He's never going to show, he's always going to put on a brave face for us. And so for him, like that little smile was like, don't worry, we're going to be fine. And they already were told that they had a stroke. I had a stroke. And so when they walked in, I was like, okay, Steve and Rose are here. We're going to be fine. And then Caitlin walked in right after them. And then we went back to sleep for a little bit, and Caitlin stood there, and I woke up and I was like, I'm starving. She's like, we got some Takis. And so we just like, it was weird. It was like almost like it was like a sleepover.
Yeah,
so like
because I spent the night there.
Yeah, so
and
we
Mom and Dad were like, "Don't let her eat bad stuff," and I was like, "Okay." Sure.
So then we're like shoving Takis in our face, and then it was like, "Don't eat bad stuff," because it's like shortly after that, our family and the people around us became like brain injury experts. We're like, okay, carbs are bad, sweet or sugar is bad. And so it's like, we've all become like, oh, I can't eat that because that's bad for your brain, or we don't do that because it's bad for the brain. And like, it's just crazy, like how I feel so lucky to have had this support system that they've like rallied behind me, all around me. And like, even Danielle, I mean, I love donuts, like donuts I live for. They're my favorite thing ever. And the next morning, homegirl shows up with my favorite things, which are donuts. And then they're like, okay, sugar's bad for the brain. And she's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry.
What can I do? What's like going to make Kristen feel better? You know, you just go into that like,
yeah,
okay, donuts done. Okay. Brain, give me all the donuts you have in the case. Thank you. Like, my friend better. And I trucked in and they're like, oh yeah, we should really eat those. I was like, no. The thought that counts.
I feel like that's such, like, that was me. I don't know if that's an only child trait, but I'm like, okay, what do you need? Like, what can I do to make this better? I can't fix your kidney, but I can get you the best donuts in the world. Like, same way, right? Like, you want to just make that person as comfortable as possible.
And I think that's carried on like throughout her whole journey at Craig, at Denver Health. It was like, okay, what can we do to like make the best out of the situation?
On my birthday, Danielle shows up to the hospital with a freaking cheese. So she's known for making cheese trays. Like they're epic. They're huge. Like every cheese, every meat,
I'm allergic to dairy. Go on.
baby pickles. Yeah, baby pickles. I mean, Danielle, we're allergic to dairy too.
I know, but who cares?
All of the nuts, all of the dried fruit, just the most amazing. She makes the best cheese trays. So she shows up to the hospital with a cheese tray and like sparkling soda or whatever in wine glasses. And we like celebrated my birthday. And that just was such a special day for me because I kind of felt normal. And we had celebrated my birthday with like our friends and family, but I was in a wheelchair and really it took so much balls for me to be like, okay, cool. I'm going to go with the people I love and be in a wheelchair just because I mean, transitioning from being an able-bodied person to a wheelchair is just like mentally, I don't even know how to explain how I did it, but I remember being like really scared and kind of embarrassed. And then I was like, nope, if this is what's happening, like, let's go, suck it up. You're around your people you love. If you can't be in a wheelchair in front of these people, like, it's going to be hard, Christy, to get out into the public again. And you are not going to be a shut-in. So fucking have your sister put your hair in a ponytail and let's put your hoops on and get the fuck out there. And so Danielle was literally at the hospital almost every day. Like, what do you need today? What can I do? Coming after work on the weekend, just constantly there. And then Caitlin was there whenever she could, which if you knew my parents was not enough. Like our parents are truly the best. Like I feel so blessed to call them my mom and dad, but they can be a lot sometimes. And Caitlin and I together have served for when they're fighting with Katie. I'm like, okay, you guys need to chill out. She's going to Mexico on vacation. She's not going to be stolen by the cartel. Everyone take a deep breath. And like, I was basically living with my parents again. So when Caitlin came, she was a nice buffer. Like whatever you imagine living with your parents like is like, that's exactly what it was like for me. So when Caitlin came, I was like, oh, even my therapist would be like, when is your sister coming back? I'm like, 2 weeks. Okay, let's just
have a
2
buffer.
weeks.
As an only child, I had no buffer, divorced, living with my parents with no money, broken.
Yeah, living with your parents is a lot. Again, I don't
Did you
want
ever
to
have your mom tell you to go clean your room at 33?
Oh my God.
Because I did.
Have you ever had your mom wipe your ass at 33? I have.
No, but she told me that if I didn't, because I don't know how to put the toilet paper back on the toilet paper holder, no one would ever marry me. So, I mean, she's not wrong so far.
Shut up. So, I mean, they both have served like such crucial roles, and there's too humble to be like, oh yeah, like she wouldn't have gotten through this without us. But I mean, I tell them all the time, like I just love them so much, and there's just no way I could have gotten through without like the little visits from Danielle or looking forward to when my sister showed up to like tell, like nobody gets your family like somebody else in your family.
Yeah.
And so I'd be like texting her. I'm like, oh my God, they're fucking driving me nuts. And then Keaton would be like texting my mom. She's like, Mommy, leave her alone.
It's
And
hard
we
to
are
buffer when you're not there.
Latinos, so we call our parents mommy and daddy still, even though we're 85.
I love that about you guys. It cracks me up. Usually on the show, I like to ask people what their superpower is. But today, I'm going to put Kristen on the spot and ask her, what are these two ladies' superpowers?
Ooh, Danielle's is definitely kindness. Almost to a default, because sometimes I have to be like, okay, this is not about this person. This has to be about you. But Danielle truly cares so much about other people. Even on her birthday, she's like trying to make other people comfortable. And her husband and I are like, this is your day. Like, sit down. Danielle is just she has such a good heart, and she just cares so much about other people. And that's definitely her superpower is kindness.
Love that.
Caitlin.
I'm a crier. Big
Yeah. Oh, I'm so shocked you haven't cried. Danielle cries for everything in a good way. She's just
for good reason.
right. I haven't cried in a year, but so my tears are going to Danielle.
Is that from the Lexapro?
I guess. I don't know. We can't figure out why I can't cry.
And you
I've
used to
tried-
cry all the time.
I did used to cry all the time. Like
I never
commercial.
cried, and then my mom died, and now like everything makes me cry. But the 5
Oh, God.
milligrams of
I don't want that to
Lexapro is
happen.
helping with that. I can tell the tears to go away now.
Mm.
Again, feels more comfortable to not have the emotions. What's Caitlin's superpower?
I feel like she has so many. She's my baby. She's my little sister. I just love her so much. I think she is truly the most amazing person ever. It's weird to be a big sister and like look up to your little sister, but Caitlin is fearless. And she has always beat to her own drum. Stroke moment. Does that make sense? How do you say that?
I think so, yeah.
Caitlin beats her own
Dances
drum.
to the beat of her own drum.
She does. Like even when she was younger in high school, like
Just
if all
like
of her
other
friends,
people.
if her friends were like, "Oh, I'm gonna go see this movie," she'd be like, "No, I'm gonna go by myself. I'm gonna see this movie." And I've always admired that of her. Caitlin does what she wants, and so to me, she's fearless. Like she loves to travel. Our parents are like, "Don't travel. Don't leave the United States." And she's like, "Peace out, y'all." She just does her own thing, and I just love it so much. She never lets anybody tell her what to like, how to like it, how to do something. Like Caitlin needs to figure it out on her own. And she just makes me so proud. I just love her so much. I'm obsessed with her.
I love you too.
Caitlin's superpower is being fearless.
Being fearless.
I love that. All right. This is a fun game. Let's play it more. Ladies, Danielle, what is Kristen's superpower?
Oh my gosh. I would say she has, God, I like a gazillion. Heart of gold. This woman right here, I mean, the best, and also the bravest woman I have ever met in my entire life. Like, I just don't know how she does what she does. And 99.9% of the time, she has a giant smile on her face that just lights up a room. It's like, oh, I had a stroke. That's fine. I'm going to be walking soon. It's okay. Just her bravery inspires me so, so much because I'm not like that at all. I want to be, it's like
yes, you are. You underestimate yourself. 100% you underestimate yourself.
Well, we were doing this video, which I don't know if I want to see the final product of it, but I was in the room when Kristen was being interviewed about her stroke and stuff. And she always said, like, I would way rather this happen to me than my sisters, Caitlin or Danielle. And I love that you consider me your sister.
I am crying, you guys.
It is so true. Kristen's like, yes, I will take the stroke. Do not touch my sisters. Like, I can handle this. I'm brave. And really, it's interesting. Like, you kind of figure out your role. And I'm like, there's no way in hell I could handle a stroke. I can be your cheerleader. I will be there.
That's how I feel. Yeah.
Don't put me in that game. And Kristen, without even flinching, is like, yep, put me in, coach. So,
but that's where I thrive. Like, I am a doer. Like, to watch one of these two women go through that and not be able to fix it, like, that would be very difficult. That would be hard for me. But for me to be the one that's every day, it's like, all right, Christy, wake up. We're going to go to therapy today. We're going to give it our all. How can you put in extra work? Like, that's my thing. I can do that. Watching somebody I love, like I think about one of Danielle or Caitlin or my parents going through this, or I think about my dad, and that really breaks my heart just because that's not a role for them. Like, I can fucking do this. And my doctor had always said that young women recover better and faster than young men when it comes to stroke. So I was like, this was meant to be. This was part of God's plan. And here I am. I'm alive and I'm walking and I'm running and I'm still surrounded by my sisters. Like, it's beautiful. It's amazing. Like, this was part of God's plan.
And you got fired and now I get to have a podcast with you.
Right. Yeah.
Fucking great.
It's all part of his plan. He's got it all going on.
Caitlin, what is your sister's superpower?
I feel like I was going to say bravery too, just because you've been so tough through all of this and just all of life. I feel like you've always been like that. But since Danielle already did that one, I think also your optimism. I don't know how you were like this, like literally the entire time over the past year. Like, I would be like, Kristen, you're doing great. Everything's going awesome. And you're like putting all the work in. And she'd be like, oh, I know. I am doing great. I'm going to do fine. I'm like 100% going to get through this. And it's just like, even though we were all worried for you and like nervous, you like never let anyone see that you were worried. And, you know, I just feel like no matter what was thrown at you, you were willing to overcome it. And that was always your end goal, is I was going to get back to my life, and whatever I have to do over the next however many months I'm here at Craig, you know, I'm going to do everything I need to. And you're still doing it outside. Like, even, you know, you're stimming when you want to, and you're doing yoga, and you're doing all of this stuff to gain back more like ability in your arm. And I was like, you know, some people don't get those chances, and you've taken that chance and done everything you can with it.
I think I've been able to be so brave and optimistic because of God. Like, I truly have felt like he's been with me this day, and I really think that there's no way God put me through this to fail. Like, he is with me, he's pushing me, and he's guiding me. And so I know that when I have God on my side, like, there's nothing that's going to stand in my way, which is why I've been able to be like, oh yeah, walking, no worries. Oh, you want me to hop up on a stair? Cool, I got it.
I'll do it.
Every time my therapist is like, do you want to do this or this? I'm like, which is harder? And they would tell me, I'm like, cool, let's do that one. Because I just feel like God has my back. And when God has your back, anything's achievable. And this whole story is a perfect example of that. My doctors, our first meeting, Caitlin, you were on the phone, remember? They basically said like they didn't think I would walk again. And like I was never going to get my life back. And then we were like, cool, fuck you. I'm walking. I'm living on my own. Yeah. Doing my damn thing. I was able to go back to work for a little bit. And so it's like, for them, like, they constantly have been asking me, like, what do you do differently? Honestly, the only difference I have, I think, is truly is faith. Like, you can put in, I think, all the work that I have and maybe still not get the same results, because, I mean, if you don't have faith, I don't know how people get through it, really. Because on my tough days, we prayed. On my good days, we prayed and thank God. And God has just been such a crucial part of this journey with me.
I love hearing you talk about that. I think that is the biggest differentiator, that what I went through with my ex-husband is that we didn't have faith in our life. It wasn't until after that I developed a relationship with God again. I had when I was a kid, and he didn't. And it was such a difference for how he viewed what happened to him. We were talking about getting divorced. It sounds weird, but yes, we had a conversation and we got divorced. He said he was still angry about having kidney failure. And the average time on a dialysis is 7 years, and he was on dialysis for 5 months. And it was a shitty fucking 5 months. And they don't tell you that the first year is full of setbacks within those first few months. But damn it, if life didn't seem better afterwards. And I just felt from watching what we went through together as a couple that, wow, what a gift to realize at 28 years old that your health is literally everything. People say that if you don't have your health, you don't have anything, but like it really is. And if you don't know,
you can't work, you can't go out with your friends, like you can't do anything. Your health is everything.
I mean, for him, it affected everything we did. The diet is crazy what your limitations are, and you can't have any liquid. So in the summer, you're kind of stuck at home, which at 28 sounds like the worst thing that could possibly happen to you. It's really not that bad if you think about all the other things that could potentially be going on. But your faith is just so inspiring. I think it just really speaks to who you are. And I love, as we came back together as friends, as I saw, like, as I left, we met in Quincy, and Quincy is where I found that faith and really felt like nothing was as bad as living in my mother-in-law's basement. So like 4 walls in a shitty apartment with spiders is totally fine. And when I moved out here, I was like, like nothing is going to be as bad as my ex-husband. So, 2 Guido roommates and and a dog is fine. It's much better. Right. I just love that, faith has just been such a part of your life. It's just who you are. When I think of your superpower, Kristen, I think your faith is just so powerful. To not lose faith at a time where you could blame God or ask God, why the fuck did you do this to me? And you didn't do that.
I think a lot of that goes to our mother. Like, I mean, like I said, we have a younger sister who passed away over a decade ago. And faith was a huge part then in our lives, and it's really always been like a part of our lives. We're raised Catholic. I'm more kind of non-denominational now, but don't tell my dad that. He gets very sensitive, Catholic sensitive. So, but faith has, I mean, doesn't matter what religion you are. I think if you have that relationship with your God, you can get through anything. And it was the next morning or the morning after, or the morning I woke up in Craig, my rehabilitation hospital, that I was having a bad day. And I asked my mom, why did this happen to me? And she said, Christy, Mija, I don't know why this happened to you, but God diverted your path for a reason. And I never questioned it since then, because I thought that's true. She knows God did this for a reason, and I may not know the answer tomorrow. We may not figure it out. It's been a year. We still really don't know. And things have been constantly changing in my life, but yes, that is Bill. Bill
Delivery.
I have been impressed with Bill literally since the moment I met him. So Danielle, we would have the same days off, which were Monday and Tuesday. And so she's like, do you want to come over? I'm like, sure. I'd come over, and Bill's like, are you guys hungry? And it'd be me and her on the couch getting hammered. And he's making us tacos. I'm like, I need a man like Bill. He's the best. He's the best. They're the best. Like, I love going there for dinner. They have you get appetizer, drinks. Like, even when I was sick, Bill would make me like non-alcoholic drinks. He's the best. They're the best to be around. I love them so much. And even when I was like afraid to go out when I first left the hospital. And if it was with Danielle and Bill, I'm like, it's fine. Because I knew one of them would be there to catch me if I fucking lost my balance and fell, or I just never felt like self-conscious because I knew Danielle and Bill were there and they're my family here. Like, it'll be fine.
I do remember one thing that you said, going back to just your faith and stuff. And it was, I don't ask why this happened to me. Why not me?
Mm-hmm.
Why not me? Why, of course, I should be the one to have a stroke. And I just remember being so taken aback by that. Like, just your faith and your bravery again. And like, who is this woman that's just like, yeah, cool, I'll take the stroke for everyone else? I mean,
I do feel like that. Why not me? Like, if God was like, do you want this to be you or one of your sisters? I'd be like, sure, just put it on me. I can, because I know I'm a tough little cookie. Not that, I mean, I've told you both that I know sometimes people think you guys are so sweet. And like, just because they're sweet and tiny does not mean they're not strong. You two are very strong, but where I really thrive is being the one in the game pushing. And I've proven that. Like, look at every time someone's like, oh, you're not going to be able to walk again. I'm like, cool, see you, I'll meet you at the finish line. That's just where I thrive. And I just, seeing people I love in pain, that's where I really struggle. And I hope I don't have to get good at that ever. But I just, I'm so glad you guys were able to, I love you guys so much. I mean, if people didn't know I was obsessed with you two already, they sure the hell are going to know now. I feel so blessed to have been surrounded, to have you both with me this entire path. Like, I just cannot imagine, I do not want to imagine what this would have been like without you both. I just love you guys so much. Do not cry, Dana.
I love you too, and I'm obsessed with you. And we always say, like, there's reasons and seasons. And I'm so thankful that God brought you to Denver, that I was able to work with you, and amazing friendships that's turned into a sisterhood.
100%.
Be there for each other. I was there for you during your stroke, but you have been there for me countless times when I'm about to freak out, and you're like, girl, no, we're going to come down here and everything's going to be just fine. And it's like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay. And I mean, I don't know what I would do without you.
I mean, Danielle and Darren are definitely the reasons I came to Denver. Like, I got a sister, I got a partner. Like, God was like, cool, you may not get this career you want forever, but you're going to get these two amazing people that are going to be with you for the rest of your life. Worth it. 100% worth it.
And as an only child, and I want to make it about me really quick, am I the reason that you came to Quincy?
No, girl.
Damn it. What's your reason for going to Quincy? Who did you
meet? Started my career.
But who did you meet there that's better than me?
Katie, we hung out outside of the gym like twice. I mean, we're close now. I love you now.
I'm talking about in this moment right now, reflecting back on Quincy. What was your purpose for going to Quincy?
I started my career there.
Meet me, you asshole. You don't even have that career right now, but you got me.
But ending a career in broadcast in Denver is not bad. It's a top 20 market.
You're right, it's not bad. Ending a career in broadcast and launching a podcast with that girl that you met in Quincy is great.
Sure, but you're serving a different purpose now. We met now. Maybe in a year, I'll be like, oh yeah, this is why I met Katie at that time.
Decide for this. Where's my only child love over here?
Oh my God. Caitlin's gonna talk so much shit about you after this.
I can't wait. Wait, I thought we weren't doing that. Women don't talk shit about each other.
Women don't talk shit,
They
but if
put
you
it
have a
in
sister,
group chat and
She
let
bought
me
me a
laugh
shirt.
at the jokes too.
but if you have a sister, that's all you do is talk shit about people.
She bought me a shirt that
Because
says
my sister and I talk shit about you.
That's close.
Wow.
I only wear it at home, but
I've never worn it out in public. We just wore in that picture once. I wear it to sleep because it's not nice. It's true, but it's not nice.
Danielle, does Kristen ever give you a hard time about being an only child?
No.
Just behind your back, huh?
Probably.
I would never talk shit about behind Danielle's back because she may not snap at other people, but she will snap at me. Like, if either of us found out we were talking shit about each other, it would not be good.
To Caitlin. Actually, that's what you should do. You should start talking shit about her to Caitlin, make Caitlin your sister, cause a divide. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Never.
Never, yeah.
Of course. All right.
So I usually ask people one question, which is, what would you tell your younger self? But what would you tell yourselves before the stroke journey started? Like if you could go back and be like, okay, this is about to start. Here's what you need to know. Here's some advice.
In the beginning, probably trust God. Trust God more.
Love that.
I think in the beginning, I was so worried and scared, and you couldn't walk, and it was just, my mind would run, and when is she going to walk again? When is she going to come back to work again? When, is she, and I think if I knew, slow your roll, give her some time. Yes, she's Kristen. She's going to walk again. She's going to be back in action and doing her thing in a heartbeat. I feel like if I knew that in the beginning, I would have felt better about it. But everything happens for a reason, and
Sure.
it made me, I think, grow closer with my faith with God and my relationship with God. Just this will
Sure.
So
I think that's amazing advice for just anything. I think about right now with COVID. We don't, right? Like if we could just go if our future selves could come and sit down and have a conversation with us, what they would say is, it's just a time to remember that God has this. We don't actually control anything. I love that. Caitlin?
I don't know. I mean, I would say maybe worry a little less, but I think it was good to be worried. I mean, it's not like we were worried the entire time. I knew you were going to get through everything, but sometimes it's okay to be worried, it's just because we care so much and love you so much. But maybe put that fear towards just wanting to build you up instead of being scared by myself.
But I never, ever felt put down by you guys. Every time I talked to one of you guys, you're like, yeah, you got it. Or even if I sent you guys the smallest little video where my toe is wiggling, you guys would be like, oh my God, there it is. Yes. So excited. That was the most amazing support. I mean, even now I send you guys pictures of me putting my hair in a high ponytail. It's these little milestones are big deals for me. And it's so nice to be surrounded by you guys who are super pumped. When I do something that may seem so mundane, put your hair in a ponytail, but a year ago that was impossible for me. And now I can get it up higher, and it's really a miracle.
Well, and I love that you have that support, not just with, our family, but your family in Denver, and you have so many great people, and Danielle's behind you 100% all the time. And I feel not everyone has that great experience, and it's been good that you've had that while you've been there.
Yeah, I love that. Like, I believe I had my stroke now for a reason. In Denver with the best brain injury, spinal cord rehabilitation hospital in the nation. Like, that's not a coincidence. Surrounded by these people at the right time. Like, this could have happened when I first started. And we were close, Danielle, but not like how we are now. I mean, I think because you're so kind, you would have been there. But like my level of being comfortable with you would not have been the same. And so it's like, there's a reason it happened last year at the time it happened, when it happened, where it happened. Like, none of that is a coincidence. God planned this all out. Daddy was able to work from Denver. You know, that's not a coincidence. You know, it was a blessing to have my parents be able to stay with me and didn't have to worry about flying back to Chicago. I was never alone. So all of this happened for a reason. And I 100% believe God has a plan for me and everybody else and COVID. We may not know it right now, but there is a whole plan for this, and we're going to figure it out.
I love that, Kristen. And if you are interested in trying to help us figure out what that plan is for COVID, next Friday, if you want to join us for happy hour Mountain Time, 5 p.m., 7 p.m., if you're in the Eastern time zone, we will be having a BYOB Bring Your Own Brain conversation about the purpose of COVID. It will be Facebook Live, so our online community is invited to join us and weigh in on what they think the purpose of COVID is in our life. We'll also have a panel of amazing, outstanding women leaders and men. Brilliant conversations. Yes. Bring your own brain. We do allow men to show up. They have to leave their dicks in their pants, brains out, dicks in, and we'll allow them to weigh in.
I'm very proud of that one.
I'm sorry. I was thinking of, No,
I loved it so much.
Time to wrap up. So with
if you were inspired by my sisters, who are the fucking best, and if you have anything negative to say about them, do not tell me, because I will come and find you. Danielle, how do everyone follow you? Or how does everyone follow you? Excuse me, stroke talk. How do everyone follow you?
On Insta at the WX Woman, Twitter, or Danielle Grant on Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
She's adorable and fun.
And while we have you on here, one last important question for you. What's the weather going to be like tomorrow?
Well, in Colorado, cold, snowy.
Oh, it's going to be cold and snowy? No. Today
I'll
was
tell you what,
nice.
I love snow just because I haven't seen snow. So there's
no, man.
No, you don't. You don't.
I'm kidding. I usually ask people a really important question, which is what's their favorite drink? But since you're a weather girl, which I know I didn't mean to say
She's a meteorologist.
I know. I couldn't help myself. Anchorman, I just saw it the other day. All right.
But I feel like she has a degree. She doesn't get offended, but I get offended for her. I was like, she's not a weather girl. She's a meteorologist and has a degree.
Yeah, I'm right. She is. And that's an opportunity to give a plug for her with that degree. What is your favorite cocktail?
Mine?
Yes.
Favorite cocktail? Probably just a gin and tonic.
Oh my God, I was going to say that.
I like it. All right.
Switching it up, not the lime, but with like an orange, like the rind of the orange.
Which is how I like to have my bourbon, with a slice of the orange.
Ooh.
Citrus really brings out.
Caitlin's going to pick whiskey or bourbon.
Caitlin, the most important question I ask everybody, what is your favorite cocktail?
Well, I do love bourbon, but I don't really drink it much in cocktails.
What kind of bourbon do you like?
My favorite is Basil Hayden.
Me too.
Really?
Oh, we can
love
be
it.
Sisters, bourbon sisters.
Yes.
Love it.
It's the best kind of sister to be.
Exactly. Now you can't talk trash about me.
Oh no. I mean, that's the first rule you need to learn about sisters, is that's all we do. I'm talking shit about Caitlin and my mom. I'm like, I know, Ma, she's such a little bitch.
No. Mom's always like, I know you're texting your sister about me.
Whenever the three of us get in fights, one of us is like texting the other person who's in there. I'm like, Mom, she's so annoying. She's like, I know, right?
All right. So now I am grateful to be an only child.
But it is fun.
It's healthy. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Speaking of healthy, we've got a business we're plugging this week. Kristen, can you tell us a little bit about the business we're plugging?
Oh, the business or the nonprofit?
The business.
Oh, we're plugging Owl Professional Coaching, which Katie is the coach, and she is amazing. Will ask you so many questions that you've been avoiding to ask yourself. It's very annoying, but she'll help you push forward your goals. So if you're looking for someone to push you in the right direction, especially now when people are looking at themselves
Or
during
the
this
wrong
COVID.
direction. Really, it's your goal. So
Yeah.
any direction that you want to be pushed in, I will help take you there. Thank you, Kristen. I'm going to interject and just talk about myself for a minute. This podcast has been all about you. It's been really hard for me.
Well, I have a brain injury, Katie. Okay.
And I was raised as an only child where we only cared about me regardless of who else had brain injuries.
But that's not how Danielle is.
Saying.
I'm actually kidding, but people give me a hard time about it. My mom was also an only child. I'm just gonna leave that there. So Owl Professional Coaching, regardless of if you want to be pushed forward, backwards, or to the side, Owl Professional Coaching is about you. It's about helping you achieve what it is that you are looking to do. And as Kristen said, I will ask you lots of questions because it's about helping you ask yourself those questions to get where you want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for that. And our nonprofit plug of the week
is Craig Foundation. So Craig Rehabilitation Hospital is where I did my rehab, and they completely saved our lives. They brought back the old Kristen. I mean, she's new and improved Kristen. I mean, still a little bit of the same, little few defects. She's cooler in some ways. She's a survivor. So if you're interested in helping out brain injury or just helping out an amazing foundation that help people regain their lives again, please, we can put a link to it on our Instagram or just Google Craig Hospital Foundation and donate. They're so amazing. We owe them my life, and I just love that place so much. I will do anything for them.
Thank you guys so much for being on today.
Oh, man, I love this episode so much. My sisters, they're the best. Love them. I love you both. I'll call you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.